Shalom, everybody. Rabbi Ariel here from the KosherTorah School. Welcome back to our channel. We're proceeding now. This is going to be lesson 2 in my series of the practical applications of the biblical style of prophetic meditation. We're going to learn now one step at a time. I've read many of your comments from the first video. I am reading your comments. I'll respond as I can. But remember, as we say in Hebrew, le'at le'at, slowly, slowly, we will go through this material one step at a time. Just remember, these lessons are for everybody. They're not just for religious people, not just for spiritual people. Everyone needs to reconnect with God. Everyone needs to know how this is really to be done. Now, if you like this video, please click the like icon and subscribe to our channel. Help support us. As you know, you can help supporting us by going to our PayPal or our Patreon pages. The links are in that description below. And help get this word out. Share this video. Let people know that this material is here. And it's here for you. Now, thank you for tuning in, for your support. Now, let's get busy. Because what we're learning really does save lives. And with the help of God, we're going to try to maybe contribute some good to our world. With regards to the name of God and its place in all of our lives, remember this. I talked about this in my book, The Greatest Story Never Told, because a lot of people ask, well, I'm not Jewish. Why should I have a connection to the name of God? Well, again, we answered this in our previous class. And it's very important that we understand a very real, reality. I don't know what else to call it. God is not the domain or the privilege of any one group. God is not a person. We discussed this. It's very important that we understand and depersonify the concept of God from thinking it's a guy to whom we're talking to in some psychic or telepathic way. This is a very mythological way of understanding God. And this is why, for example, in the mystical traditions we call the Kabbalah, have really expanded upon this to help expand our consciousness to recognize a greater reality of things. God's name, as we've discussed in detail already before, many places, and I've got my other book here, Walking in the Fire. I have a whole section here which describes the code. Am I getting it in there? There you go. The code, which is the name of God, what it really stands for. If you're interested in my books, Greatest Stories available on Amazon. Walking in the Fire is available from exclusive distributor, a friend of mine in New York. I'll put links below in case you're interested in pursuing this material in this academic format. But like it says in the prophet Malachi, like I quote in my book, from the rising of the sun to the going down thereof, great is God's name amongst the nations. And the commentators would ask, how is the name of the God of Israel known to all the nations of the world? And they respond and say, because every time, every person anywhere is praying to whom they believe and know to be the creator of the universe, the King of Kings, Lord of Lords, etc. God understands and knows and accepts that even if the form that they're praying to is by certain definitions idolatry, it doesn't matter. Remember from the Bible, where in which it says you had the tree of life. I mean, the other tree should have been the tree of death, but it's called the tree of knowledge, good and evil. This is where we're messed up in our heads. Our knowledge is all blemished. No one knows the absolute truth of anything. None of us can learn academically absolute truths. It must be experienced. And that is why these videos are here to help you experience the name of God. Buy my books, read them, fine. But that's not going to give you the experience. You have to put them into practice. Now, just another one of my books here, I came out with this last year. It's called Let There Be Knowing. Go read the reviews on the books and you'll see for yourselves what it says. This was one of my recent books where I teach the practices of how to actually reach out and experience things. And in just a couple of minutes, we're going to have another guided meditation that I want you to listen to, pay attention to, and if you feel so inclined, experience for yourselves. Because the experience of God is the common denominator of all life. And there are species upon our earth, known to us and unknown to us, that have a much higher sensitivity, awareness, and consciousness of the divine than we do with humans. We are the ones who ate of the tree of knowledge, good and evil, not the others. So therefore, they can, when we use the word see things, let's understand that as experience things. They experience things that we don't. And who are the they of whom I speak? Other races of beings that inhabit our earth, inner earth, surrounding the atmosphere, and even animal species. They see and know things that we don't. So when we come to approach the name of God, remember, like it says in Zechariah, you can see the verse, I put it right up there for you to read. God says whoever calls upon his name will be answered. And oh, by the way, just for the record, the vernacular, the common expression passed down through the centuries, has always been to refer to God in the masculine sense. But especially we know from the Kabbalah, God is both, like it says in the Bible. When it says that God created man in his image, remember the word man is both male and female. So when we read the wise words of our sages that say, in a place where there are no men, strive to be a man, within the real meaning of the word man, which certain elements today want to call toxic, etc. Good, let them call whatever they want. They won't be around too much longer. You be a strong, responsible human being, because that's what it is to be a man, whether you're male or female in that respect. So with that being said, God, as very clearly made in the Torah and the Kabbalah, has male and female attributes. As such, his name, Yud, and then we say the letter, we don't recite the letter Hey, we call it K. Why? Remember we spoke in the last video about not taking the name of the Lord in vain? Well, the sages wanted to be extra respectful, and they say don't even spell it out with the correct letters. And you're like, well, that's all extreme. Well, you know what? When it comes to being respectful, if you want to respect God, respect one another as well. That you can be extreme. That's okay. To be good to one another, to respect one another, to be compassionate and kind, those things be extreme in. All the other nonsense and garbage, no. The name of God, you have the 4 Hebrew letters, Yud, and then Hey, and then Vav, and then Hey. The Hey, when we refer to the letters, in order to show respect, we don't say Hey spelled H-E-Y, like Hey. We say K. So Yud, K, Vav, K. Now, the letters Yud, that's the little one there at the beginning, and Vav, the long straight one, those are considered the masculine letters, where the letters Hey and Hey are considered the feminine letters. And it gets into details when you discuss what are called the Sephirotic faces, where Yud is called father, Hey is called mother, the Vav is called the son, and the final Hey is called daughter. Abba, Ima, Za, Nok, but we don't have to get into all those details now because they are distracting. You need to focus on the letters of the name. Reb Chaim Vital, the master Kabbalist, 500 years ago, quoting earlier sources like Avraham Abulafia, says that we're supposed to visualize the name. And I taught you in our last video, close your eyes and relax and visualize the name. We all know how to do that. That's simple. And for those of you who do not know or recognize the Hebrew letters, that's fine. You can learn them. I have a link in the description below to this exact image here. You can download it and learn to visualize the letters. It's really simple. Why should you do that? Because God in the Bible said that that's the name you're supposed to focus on, and that's the form. So that's what we do. Is it important? Well, try it and see for yourself and judge for yourselves. Don't ask me. I'm not here to ever tell you, listen to me, trust me. Who the heck am I? You see and experience for yourselves. That's what's most important here. As for the coding within the name, we'll discuss those, like I said, in future videos. They're coming. Slowly, slowly. All right? Like I said before, le'at, le'at. Or as they say in Arabic, shrohe, shrohe. So let's just take it one step at a time and be patient. Remember, we're living in very, very imbalanced times. Terrible things are coming. Anybody who's sensitive to this, who can see through the veil of their normalcy bias, knows this. And again, yes, you're supposed to be investing in your bullets and your beans and preparing and all the rest of that stuff, of course. But don't ever underestimate the most important, valuable commodity in all hard times. And that is faith in God. Because that will get you through, even if you don't have your bullets and beans and everything else. You have to have the faith. I taught you in a previous video of how to close your eyes and gaze upon the name. And now I'm going to take you step 2. Psalm 16 verse 8, again written right up there for you to see, says, I place God before me always. Kind of reminds me of the line from Obi-Wan Kenobi in Star Wars, the Force will be with you always. Well, that's the name of God. That's the real force. You need to be able to visualize the name with your eyes open. You need to be able to visualize the name when you're not meditating. What you and I would understand as detached meditation with the eyes closed in a quiet place and the like. Many of us have to commute to go to work. Many, many years ago, nightmare times, lived in New York City. How many of you know New York City? Actually, I lived on Long Island. And you have to commute from Long Island into work in Manhattan. Long Island Railroad and everything else, the subways. Millions do this, and you know the nightmare of which I'm talking about. Crazy. Yud-Keh Vav-Keh is there in the middle of that craziness. Years later, I lived in Los Angeles. For those of you who've ever gone from the San Fernando Valley downtown, you know what insanity is like. Those of you who live in Miami, you go up and down the 95. You all understand this. Yud-Keh Vav-Keh is there through it all. What we need to do is, in the middle of the distractions, in the middle of the noise, in the middle of the chaos, breathe deeply. And I'm going to share with you a breathing technique with the letters of the name. You're in the middle of the chaos. You're in the middle of the noise. You're in the middle of the traffic. You're in the middle of every chaotic distraction imaginable. Breathe in and think or contemplate or visualize the Yud. Breathe out, visualizing, contemplating, thinking about the Hey. Breathe in, visualizing, thinking about, contemplating the Vav. Breathe out, thinking, visualizing, contemplating the Hey. Yud, Hey, and then Vav, Hey, Yud-Keh, Vav-Keh. Now, when we refer to the name, we refer to it, again, you can't recite the name, so we have our own little ways of reciting it, referring to it, I should say. We say Havaya. Don't worry about where that comes from or what it is. You don't need details that can, distract. We call this name, when we refer to it, Havaya, and this technique is called Hambaya breathing. Yud, Hey. Vav, Hey. Yud, Hey. Vav, Hey. Let's slow it down a little bit. Yud, Hey. Vav. Hey. Yod. Hey. Vav. Hey. Inhale through the nose on the Yud. Exhale through the mouth on the Hey. Inhale through the nose on the Wav. Exhale on the Hey. Regulate yourself to do this all the time. The more stress you feel, Yud, Hey, Vav, Hey. Even if it's fast, Yud, Hey, Vav, Hey, whatever. This grounds you. It centers and focuses your mind and gives you inner calm and inner peace. But inner calm and inner peace is not the end. It's only the beginning. And as you do this, contemplating, thinking about, visualizing each letter as you're inhaling and exhaling, send out a little thought. God, guide me. Give me the strength to get through this chaotic moment without wanting to strangle somebody. Give me wisdom. Give me patience. Give me guidance. Whenever you need guidance to know what to do or how to do it, pause. Breathe. That's abdominal breathing into the belly there. All right? They call that in the Orient Dantian breathing. Yud. Hey. Vav. Hey. And call upon God inside your mind. You don't need to verbalize anything. You don't need to offer any kind of verbal prayer. Just send out the message to the greater reality, to the universe. Get me through this. What am I supposed to do? And as you're breathing, and as you're finding center and calm within you, the thought's going to rise up in your head. Just like the verse in the book of Proverbs. I write about that walking in the fire. The verse says, Rabot machshavot belevish, v'tzat Hashem hitakum, which means there are many thoughts that arise in our heads, but it's called the counsel of Yud Kei Vav Kei that arises. The more you breathe in and breathe out the holy name, the more this reality will become your reality. If you want, breathe in the light from the universe. Breathe out the darkness. Breathe in the light. Breathe out the darkness. You're breathing in oxygen and breathing out carbon dioxide. It's exactly what you're really doing anyway. It's not even symbolic. It's actual. Practice this form of Havaya breathing. Get used to it. Experience it. And know the experience of Havaya Yud Kei Vav Kei for yourselves. Now take this message with you. Again, if you like this video, please check the like button. Subscribe to our channel. Help support us in what we're doing. Go to our Patreon or PayPal page. Please offer us a gift. Help me get this message out there for people. It's going to become more and more important really soon. Let's work together in this. And remember the great message. It doesn't say this in the Bible, but it should, and its spirit is there. United we stand. provided we fall. I'm Rabbi Ariel, KosherTorah channel. Thanks for listening in. I'll see you in our next class. God bless you all. Shalom.